What's up? What's good? What's happening with the YouTube? I am Epic and this is Media Circus Online. And today we are taking a closer look at the Brittany Griner situation and what the United States can and can't do to get her back. Now, Griner, 31, who plays for the Phoenix Mercury in the WNBA and also plays for a Russian team in the offseason, was arrested in February for allegedly having cannabis vape oil cartridges in her luggage when she took a flight from New York to Moscow. Now, I don't know Russian law, but apparently possession of cannabis oil is a major offense, punishable by 10 years, which seems a little excessive. I mean, I don't make the laws. Damn sure will follow them if I'm ever in Russia, seeing how they're treating Brittany. Now, I seen the tape, and it seems pretty clear-cut that they got whatever it was that they claimed that they found out of her bag, and when they showed it to her, she doesn't seem that surprised at all in the video that it was even there. Now, if it was me in that situation and they found something in my bag that I didn't put there myself, best believe I would be raising hell. Even if I did put it there, I would still be raising hell. I would have a look of surprise and outrage on my face that would make an innocent person very proud. Now, it would have played out something like this if that was me in that situation. The customs agent would have been like, "Sir, what is this?" And I would have been like, "What are you talking about?" "Well, we found this in your bag." And I would have been like, "Hell nah, it's not mine. I'm not going down for this." The custom agent would have probably said something like, "Well, who does it belong to, sir?" And I would have said with a straight face, "I'm going to tell you the truth. I got this bag from one of my teammates, and yes, I'm willing to testify. She's right over there." At which time I would have pointed at a random teammate who would have took the fall. We got to get these criminals off the streets and ASAP. Now, it seems more like she was trying to explain what it was and thought it was no big deal. I'm Brittany Griner. I'm like LeBron James over here. And they killed that dream real quick. Now, I know a lot of you have been going out and getting free Brittany Griner t-shirts made and talking about how it's a travesty that the U.S. hasn't invaded Russia to bring her back. Now, before you go join the army, let's take a look at the actions that led up to Brittany being arrested for transporting contraband into the country and what exactly the U.S. can do about it. In my opinion, exactly nothing. Now, a whole lot of people didn't know that the United States had put out a travel advisory telling American citizens that they should get out of Russia and or Ukraine as soon as possible. And if you were thinking about going there, you should reevaluate your life decisions, because clearly you're not good at making good decisions, because a war between both countries is imminent, and the United States hands will be tied if you go over there messing with them people and get arrested because of your poor decision-making skills. Now, the Joe Biden critics are going to say something like, well, why didn't the administration stop all Americans from going over there in the first place? Good question. Let's assume he did just that. Then them same critics would be saying that this is America. Who are you to tell me I can't do what I want to do, go where I want to go? But that's another argument for another day. In fact, the U.S. government put out that advisory in January of 2022, almost a full month before Griner was arrested. So her whole situation could have been avoided with just a little due diligence by her or her handlers. If I was her, I'd fire everybody from my sports agent to my travel agent, because apparently nobody was watching the news or checked the fine print before booking her tickets. Now, Brittany's wife, Cheryl Griner, recently did an interview on ESPN saying that Brittany only went back to Russia after the travel advisory was given because she wasn't making enough money in the WNBA, and she was trying to make up the difference in pay in Russia, where she made the majority of her income because of the disparities in pay between the NBA and WNBA. She also said that Brittany got the rock star treatment in Russia over there that she didn't get in the States. Well, we all see how that turned out for her, locked up abroad and most likely about to do 10 years in a Russian gulag. If you ask me, they already have her judge, prosecutor, public defender, and her sentence picked out for her, and it's going to be to the max 10 years for your troubles. Now go sit down somewhere. If Jesus Christ was her attorney, he couldn't beat her case for her. Why? Because Griner is what we like to call a political prisoner at this point. Believe me when I say Russia could care less about some vape cartridges, but the United States has put sanctions on Russia and has been supplying Ukraine with weapons and logistics. So Russia is fighting back any way they can, and the only way they can is by arresting Americans who are in their country and making the U.S. negotiate for their release. The U.S. has a prisoner who the Russians consider to be unjustly detained by the name of Victor Bout. Bout, 55, is a Russian-born national who is serving a 25-year sentence in a federal prison since 2010 for conspiring to provide material support or resources to a designated terrorist organization. Now, Russia has been protesting his arrest from the start and has offered the U.S. a prisoner trade in the past and presently for Brittany Griner, to which the U.S. said no thank you. This guy has political ties to most of the governments around the world and was at one time made number 2 spot on the most wanted list behind Osama bin Laden. Bout is also worth at least a couple $2 billion by all estimates. That's like trading Steph Curry for Russell Westbrook or Kevin Durant for Patrick Beverley. It's not going to happen. I think Vladimir Putin has overestimated Brittany Griner's value to the American people. So I can see why the United States said no to that deal. Plus, they have a long-standing policy of not negotiating with or for terrorists. If you think about it, the U.S. government doesn't care about Griner that much one way or another. But it looks good to the American people and the public if they put forth the effort to get her back. But we all know how this story turns out because we've seen it before. Remember that guy who was arrested in North Korea for stealing a poster from a hotel? Otto Warmbier, a 22-year-old college student on vacation in North Korea. He had to be crazy to pick North Korea as a vacation destination, but we all have our fetishes, and torture was obviously one of his. Now, Warmbier was convicted and sentenced to 15 years hard labor and did 15 months of the sentence before being sent back to the U.S. in a coma for humanitarian grounds. Did the U.S. get him back? No, they didn't. Well, technically they did get him back, but he died days later from a mysterious injury. I did over 20 years in an American prison, of which 16 was straight, and I can't imagine doing 1 year in a Russian prison, which are considered to be some of the harshest prisons on earth. I don't know how Brittany Griner will get through it intact, but I do know that her basketball career is over. She's not going to be half the athlete she is now in 10 years. If she's lucky, she'll have some money saved up and family support to get her through the ordeal, but I doubt it. Now, the moral of this story is to be hyper vigilant to what's going on around you. Just don't keep your head in the sand or your head in the clouds. Be aware. But that's my take on the whole Brittany Griner situation. We'll see what happens in the future. Till then, I am Epic, and this is Media Circus Online. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your viewership is greatly appreciated. Thank you.